Hello, future doctors. Welcome to this exciting session on locomotion and movement, a core chapter for NEET biology. Today, we are diving deep into the fascinating world of the skeletal system, the very framework that holds us together. We'll start with the basics, then gradually explore its complexities, functions, and clinical aspects. Get ready for a four-level journey, from easy foundational concepts to the advanced competitive insights you'll need for NEET. Let's begin. Ready to uncover the secrets of your body's amazing internal support system? Let's start with the basics of your skeletal framework. The skeletal system is essentially your body's internal scaffolding, made primarily of bones and cartilage. Think of bones as the hard, rigid structures forming the main framework, while cartilage is a more flexible tissue found in places like your joints, nose, and ears. Together, they give your body its shape and allow you to move. This intricate system isn't just about standing tall, it's a dynamic, living part of you. This system performs several vital roles. First, it provides crucial support, holding your body upright and giving muscles something to pull against. Second, it acts as a shield, protecting delicate organs like your brain within the skull and your heart and lungs inside the rib cage. Third, working hand in hand with muscles, it enables all your movements. Beyond these, bones store essential minerals like calcium and phosphorus, and surprisingly, the marrow inside them is where your blood cells are produced. Structurally, your skeleton is divided into two parts, the axial skeleton, forming the central core, and the appendicular skeleton, comprising your limbs and their attachments. For instance, your skull, part of the axial skeleton, protects your brain, while your leg bones, from the appendicular skeleton, allow you to walk and run. Alright, time to test your foundational knowledge. Here are 3 easy practice questions based on what we've just covered. Take a moment to think about each one and choose the best answer. This will help solidify your understanding of the basic functions and components of the skeletal system. Good luck! Now that we've got the basics down, let's delve a bit deeper into the intricate structures and types of joints that make up our skeletal system. Let's elaborate on the components. Bones are complex living tissues, not just inert structures. They contain living cells called osteocytes, collagen fibers for flexibility, and mineral salts like calcium phosphate for hardness. Each bone has a dense outer layer, the compact bone, and a spongy inner layer containing bone marrow, which is crucial for blood cell production. Cartilage, on the other hand, is a flexible connective tissue. It comes in different types. Hyaline cartilage smooths joint surfaces, elastic cartilage gives shape to your ears, and fibrocartilage provides shock absorption in your spine. We also have ligaments, tough fibrous tissues connecting bones to other bones, stabilizing our joints, and tendons, which are equally fibrous but connect muscles to bones, enabling movement. The axial skeleton forms the central axis of your body. Your skull, composed of 22 bones, protects your brain and forms your face. The vertebral column, your backbone, is made of 26 vertebrae, protecting your spinal cord and supporting your head and trunk, divided into 5 distinct regions. Then there's the rib cage, with 12 pairs of ribs, some directly connected to the sternum, some indirectly, and others floating, all protecting your heart and lungs. The appendicular skeleton includes your limbs and their attachments. The pectoral girdle, or shoulder girdle, connects your upper limbs to the axial skeleton, while the pelvic girdle, or hip girdle, connects your lower limbs and protects your pelvic organs. Each limb, both upper and lower, has a specific set of bones, from your humerus to your phalanges, all designed for diverse movements. Joints are the crucial points where bones meet, allowing for movement. We classify them based on how much movement they permit. Fibrous joints are essentially immovable, like the sutures in your skull, where bones are tightly bound by dense connective tissue. Cartilaginous joints allow for slight movement, with bones joined by cartilage, such as the intervertebral discs in your spine. Finally, synovial joints are the most common and freely movable joints, like your knees, elbows, and shoulders. They are characterized by a joint cavity filled with synovial fluid, which lubricates the joint and reduces friction, allowing a wide range of motion. Understanding these distinctions is key to comprehending how your body moves. Excellent work so far. Now, let's tackle 5 medium-level practice questions. These will require you to apply your slightly deeper understanding of the skeletal system's components, divisions, and basic joint types. Read each question carefully, consider the options, and choose the most accurate answer. This is a great way to reinforce your learning before we move on to more advanced concepts. Time to level up. Let's analyze the intricate details of bone structure, advanced joint mechanics, and common skeletal ailments. Delving into bone microstructure, we find compact bone, the dense outer layer, organized into Haversian systems or osteons, which are cylindrical units containing blood vessels and nerves. This structure provides immense strength. Inside, spongy bone, with its network of trabeculae, offers strength without adding excessive weight, and houses red bone marrow. Bone formation, or ossification, occurs in two primary ways. Intramembranous ossification directly forms bone from mesenchymal tissue, like in your skull bones, while endochondral ossification replaces a cartilage model with bone, which is how most long bones develop. Understanding these processes is fundamental to appreciating bone growth and repair. Now, let's get into the specifics of synovial joints. They're not all the same. Ball and socket joints, like your shoulder and hip, offer the widest range of motion. Hinge joints, such as your elbow and knee, allow movement primarily in one plane. Pivot joints, like the one between your first two neck vertebrae, enable rotation. Condyloid joints, found in your wrist, allow angular movement in two planes. Saddle joints, unique to your thumb, permit similar movements plus limited circumduction. Lastly, gliding joints, like those between your wrist bones, allow bones to slide past each other. Each type is perfectly adapted for its specific function. Moreover, the skeletal system works hand in hand with muscles through tendons and ligaments. Muscles pull on bones, using joints as fulcrums, creating lever systems that allow for powerful or precise movements. Understanding the skeletal system also means recognizing its vulnerabilities. Common disorders include various forms of arthritis, such as osteoarthritis from wear and tear and rheumatoid arthritis, an autoimmune condition causing joint inflammation. Osteoporosis leads to brittle bones due to mineral loss, often seen in older adults. Rickets in children and osteomalacia in adults result from vitamin D deficiency, softening bones. Gout, another form of arthritis, is caused by uric acid crystal buildup. And of course, fractures are breaks in bones, categorized by their severity and type. The connective tissues play crucial roles here. Ligaments connect bone to bone, providing joint stability, while tendons connect muscle to bone, transmitting force for movement. Cartilage, as we know, provides smooth surfaces and shock absorption, all vital for healthy locomotion. You've successfully navigated the hard-level content. Now, it's time to challenge your analytical skills with 7 practice questions. These questions will require you to connect different concepts, analyze scenarios, and demonstrate a deeper understanding of bone structure, joint types, and common disorders. Take your time, think critically, and apply what you've learned. This is crucial for your NEET preparation. Welcome to the hardest level. Prepare to explore the skeletal system through an evolutionary lens, delve into its intricate cellular and hormonal regulation, and discover its cutting-edge clinical and engineering applications. From the earliest hydrostatic skeletons of worms to the external exoskeletons of insects, and finally to our own internal endoskeletons, the evolution of support systems is a marvel. Our endoskeleton, a vertebrate hallmark, allows continuous growth and greater flexibility compared to its predecessors. A pivotal evolutionary leap was the transition from cartilaginous skeletons, seen in sharks, to the bony skeletons of most fish and all higher vertebrates, offering superior structural integrity. This journey highlights how diverse life forms have adapted their internal architecture to thrive in different environments. Understanding this evolutionary context gives us a deeper appreciation for the human skeletal design. Bone is far from static, it's a living, dynamic tissue constantly undergoing remodeling. This process involves a delicate balance. Osteoblasts build new bone, while osteoclasts resorb old bone, with osteocytes maintaining the matrix. This continuous turnover is vital for repair, adapting to mechanical stress, and maintaining mineral homeostasis. Hormones like parathyroid hormone and calcitonin, along with vitamin D, precisely regulate blood calcium and phosphate levels, directly impacting bone health. Wolff's law beautifully illustrates this adaptability. Bone strengthens in response to stress and weakens without it. Furthermore, the biomechanics of joints are fascinating. Every movement, from flexion to rotation, is dictated by joint geometry and muscle action, often functioning as intricate lever systems. Our body primarily uses class 3 levers, optimizing for range and speed of motion, which is crucial for our dynamic lifestyle. The skeletal system's journey begins early in development. Most of our bones form through endochondral ossification, where a cartilage model is gradually replaced by bone, a process that continues at the epiphyseal plates, or growth plates, allowing us to grow taller during childhood. These plates eventually close, signifying the end of longitudinal growth. Flat bones, like those in the skull, develop via intramembranous ossification, directly from mesenchymal tissue. In the clinical realm, understanding these processes is critical. Advanced diagnostics like DXA scans measure bone density, crucial for osteoporosis. Arthroscopy allows minimally invasive joint inspection, and joint replacement surgery, using biomaterials like titanium, restores function to damaged joints. From an engineering perspective, these implants are designed to mimic the complex mechanics and durability of natural bone and cartilage, pushing the boundaries of medical technology and improving quality of life. Beyond human biology, comparing vertebrate skeletons reveals incredible adaptations. Fish skeletons are streamlined for aquatic life, while amphibians show early adaptations for land. Reptiles exhibit various forms, and birds possess uniquely lightweight, fused skeletons for flight. Mammalian skeletons, including our own, show diverse specializations for bipedalism, quadrupedalism, or arboreal locomotion, each reflecting a species' unique evolutionary path and ecological niche. This comparative approach not only deepens our understanding of human anatomy but also highlights the remarkable plasticity of biological design. The skeletal system, therefore, is not just a collection of bones, but a testament to evolution, a marvel of engineering, and a cornerstone of human health and movement, with profound implications across biology and medicine. All right, future medical professionals. Let's tackle the first 5 questions from our hardest level challenge. These questions are designed to test your in-depth knowledge, your ability to integrate concepts, and your critical thinking skills. They cover evolutionary aspects, cellular mechanisms, and advanced clinical applications. Read each question carefully, analyze the options, and choose the most comprehensive and accurate answer. This is where your true NEET preparation shines. Continuing with our ultimate challenge, here are the remaining 5 questions for the hardest level. These questions will push your understanding even further, requiring you to think about biomechanics, developmental processes, and comparative anatomy. Remember, competitive exams often feature questions that require a multifacet approach. Take your time, recall all the details we've discussed, and apply your knowledge strategically. Mastering these types of questions will give you a significant edge in your NEET examination. And that brings us to the end of our in-depth exploration of the skeletal system. I hope this journey from basic principles to advanced concepts has been enlightening and has boosted your confidence for NEET. Remember, consistent practice and a clear understanding of fundamentals are key. For more such engaging and comprehensive educational content, make sure to visit synapse.omaps.in. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for continuous updates and more NEET preparation resources. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep aiming for success. See you in the next session.